Bereshith, Genesis, chapter 44, verse 18. And Yehudah came near to him and said, O my master, please let your servant speak a word in my master's hearing, and do not let your displeasure burn against your servant, for you are like Pharaoh. My master asked his servant, saying, Have you a father or a brother? And we said to my master, We have a father, an old man, and a young child of his old age, and his brother is dead, and he alone is left of his mother's children, and his father loves him. And you said to your servants, Bring him down to me, let me lay my eyes on him. And we said to my master, The boy is not able to leave his father, for if he leaves his father shall die. But you said to your servants, Unless your youngest brother comes down with you, you do not see my face again. And it came to be, when we went up to your servant, my father, that we told him the words of my master. And our father said, Go back and buy us a little food. But we said, We are not able to go down. If our youngest brother is with us, then we shall go down. For we are not able to see the man's face unless our youngest brother is with us. Then your servant, my father, said to us, You know that my wife bore me 2 sons, and the one went out from me. And I said, Truly he is torn to pieces, and I have not seen him since. And if you take this one from me too, and harm comes to him, you shall bring down my gray hair with evil to the grave. And now, if I come to your servant my father, and the boy is not with us, since his own life is bound up in his life, then it shall be, when he sees that the boy is not with us, that he shall die. So your servant shall bring down the gray hair of your servant, our father, with sorrow to the grave. For your servant went guarantor for the boy to my father, saying, If I do not bring him back to you, then I shall be a sinner before my father forever. And now, please let your servant remain instead of the boy as a slave to my master, and let the boy go up with his brothers. For how do I go up to my father if the boy is not with me, lest I see the evil that would come upon my father? Chapter 45. And Joseph was unable to restrain himself before all those who stood by him, and he called out, Have every one go out from me. So no one stood with him, while Joseph made himself known to his brothers. And he wept aloud, and the Mitzrite and the house of Pharaoh heard it. And Joseph said to his brothers, I am Joseph. Is my father still alive? But his brothers were unable to answer him, for they trembled before him. Then Joseph said to his brothers, Please come near to me. And when they came near, he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Mitzrayim. And now, do not be grieved, nor displeased with yourselves because you sold me here. For Elohim sent me before you to preserve life. For 2 years now the scarcity of food has been in the land, and there are still 5 years in which there is neither plowing nor harvesting. And Elohim sent me before you to preserve for you a remnant in the earth, and to give life to you by a great escape. So then, you did not send me here, but Elohim, and he has appointed me for a father to Pharaoh, and master of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Mitzrayim. Hurry, and go up to my father, and say to him, Thus says your son Joseph, Elohim has made me master of all Mitzrayim. Come down to me. Do not delay. And you shall dwell in the land of Goshen, and be near to me, you and your children, your children's children, your flocks and your herds, and all that you have. And I shall provide for you there, lest you and your household, and all that you have, come to poverty, because 5 years of scarcity of food are still to come. And look, your eyes, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, see that it is my mouth that speaks to you. And you shall inform my father of all my esteem in Mitzrayim, and of all that you have seen. And you shall hurry and bring my father down here. And he fell on his brother Benjamin's neck and wept. And Benjamin wept on his neck. And he kissed all his brothers and wept over them. And after that, his brothers spoke with him. And the report of it was heard by the house of Pharaoh, saying, The brothers of Joseph have come. And it was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of his servants. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, Say to your brothers, do this, load your beast and go, enter the land of Canaan, and take your father and your households and come to me. And I give you the best of the land of Mitzrayim, and you eat the fatness of the land. And you have been commanded, do this, take wagons out of the land of Mitzrayim for your little ones and your wives, and you shall bring your father and come. And do not be concerned about your goods, for the best of all the land of Mitzrayim is yours. And the sons of Israel did so. And Joseph gave them wagons, according to the command of Pharaoh, and he gave them food for the journey. He gave to all of them, to each man, changes of garments, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of garments. And he sent to his father this, 10 donkeys loaded with the best of Mitzrayim, and 10 female donkeys loaded with grain, and bread and food for his father for the journey. So he sent his brothers away, and they left. And he said to them, Do not quarrel along the way. And they went up out of Mitzrayim, and came to the land of Canaan, to Jacob their father. And they told him, saying, Joseph is still alive, and he is governor over all the land of Mitzrayim. And Jacob's heart ceased, for he did not believe them. But when they spoke to him all the words which Joseph had spoken to them, and when he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent to transport him, the spirit of Jacob, their father, revived. And Israel said, Enough, my son Joseph is still alive. Let me go and see him before I die. Chapter 46. And Israel departed with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and brought offerings to the Elohim of his father Yitzchak. And Elohim spoke to Yisro in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here I am. And he said, I am the Elohim of your father. Do not be afraid to go down to Mitzrayim, for I shall make you there into a great nation. I myself am going down with you to Mitzrayim, and I myself shall certainly bring you up again. And let Joseph put his hand on your eyes. And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel brought their father Jacob and their little ones and their wives in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to transport him. And they took their livestock and their property, which they had acquired in the land of Canaan, and came into Mitzrayim. Jacob and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed he brought with him to Mitzrayim. And these were the names of the children of Israel, Jacob and his sons, who came into Mitzrayim. Reuben was Jacob's firstborn. And the sons of Reuben, Hanok and Palu, and Hetzron and Carmi. And the sons of Shimon, Yemuel and Yamin, and Ohad and Yachin and Tesar and Shaul, son of a Canaanite woman. And the sons of Levi, Gershon, Kehath, and Merari. And the sons of Yehuda, and Onan and Shelah, and Peretz and Zerah. But and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Peretz were Hetzron and Hamphel. And the sons of Yissachar, Tola and Puah, and Job and Shimron. And the sons of Zebulun, Sered and Elon and Yahel. These were the sons of Leah, whom she bore to Jacob in Padan Aram, with his daughter Dinah. All the beings, his sons and his daughters, were 33. And the sons of Gad, Siphon and Haggai, Shuni and Etzban, Eri and Arodi and Areli. And the sons of Asher, Yimnah and Yishwa and Yishwi, and Berah and Sarah, their sister. And the sons of Beriah, Heber and Machel. These were the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter. And these she bore to Jacob, 16 beings. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, Joseph and Benjamin. And to Joseph in the land of Mitzrayim were born Manasseh and Ephraim, whom Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bore to him. And the sons of Benjamin, Bela and Becher and Ashbel, Gera and Naaman, Ehi and Rosh, Mupim, Hupim, and Ard. These were the sons of Rachel, who were born to Jacob, 14 beings in all. And the son of Dan, Husham, and the sons of Naphtali, Yatzil, and Guni, and Yetzer, and Shalem. These were the sons of Bilhah, whom Laban gave to Rachel his daughter, and she bore these to Jacob, 7 beings in all. All the beings who went with Jacob to Mitzrayim, who came from his body, besides Jacob's sons' wives, were 66 beings in all. And the sons of Joseph, who were born to him in Mitzrayim, were 2 beings. All the beings of the house of Jacob, who went to Mitzrayim, were 70. And he sent Yehuda before him to Joseph, to point out before him the way to Goshen. And they came to the land of Goshen. And Joseph made ready his chariot, and went up to Goshen to meet his father Yisrael. And he appeared to him, and fell on his neck, and wept on his neck a long time. And Yisrael said to Joseph, Now let me die, since I have seen your face, that you are still alive. And Joseph said to his brothers, and to his father's household, I am going up to inform Pharaoh, and say to him, My brothers and those of my father's house, who were in the land of Canaan, have come to me. And the men were shepherds, that they have been men of livestock, and they have brought their flocks, and their herds, and all that they have. And it shall be, when Pharaoh calls you and says, What is your occupation? That you shall say, Your servants have been men of livestock from our youth even till now, both we and our fathers, so that you dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination to the Mitzrites. Chapter 47. Then Joseph went and spoke to Pharaoh and said, My father and my brothers, their flocks and their herds, and all that they possess, have come from the land of Canaan, and see, they are in the land of Goshen. And he took 5 men from among his brothers and presented them to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to his brothers, What is your occupation? And they said to Pharaoh, Your servants are shepherds, both we and also our fathers. And they said to Pharaoh, We have come to dwell in the land, because there is no pasture for your servants' flocks. For the scarcity of food is severe in the land of Canaan. And now, please let your servants dwell in the land of Goshen. And Pharaoh spoke to Joseph, saying, Your father and your brothers have come to you. The land of Mitzrayim is before you. Settle your father and brothers in the best of the land. Let them dwell in the land of Goshen. And if you know of capable men among them, then make them chief herdsmen over my livestock. And Joseph brought in his father Jacob, and stood him before Pharaoh. And Jacob baraked Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Jacob, How many are the days of your life? And Jacob said to Pharaoh, The days of the years of my sojournings are 130 years. Few and evil have been the days of the years of my life, and they have not reached the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their sojournings. And Jacob baraked Pharaoh, and went out before Pharaoh. So Joseph settled his father and his brothers, and gave them a possession in the land of Mitzrayim, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramses, as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph provided his father and his brothers and all his father's household with bread for the mouth of the little ones. Now there was no bread in all the land, because the scarcity of food was very severe. And the land of Mitzrayim and all the land of Canaan became exhausted from the scarcity of food. And Joseph gathered up all the silver that was found in the land of Mitzrayim and in the land of Canaan, for the grain which they bought. And Joseph brought the silver into Pharaoh's house. And when the silver was all spent in the land of Mitzrayim and in the land of Canaan, and all the Mitzrites came to Joseph and said, Give us bread, for why should we die in your presence? For the silver is gone. And Joseph said, Give your livestock. And Joseph said, Give your livestock, and I give you bread for your livestock if the silver is gone. So they brought their livestock to Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for the horses and for the flocks they owned, and for the herds they owned, and for the donkeys. Thus he fed them with bread in exchange for all their livestock that year. And when that year had ended, they came to him the next year and said to him, We do not hide from my master that our silver is all spent, and my master also has the livestock we owned. There has not any been left before my master, but our bodies and our lands. Why should we die before your eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and let us and our land be servants of Pharaoh. And give us seed, and let us live and not die, and let the land not lie waste. And Joseph bought the entire land of Mitzrayim for Pharaoh, because every man of the Mitzrites sold his field, because the scarcity of food was severe among them, and the land came to be Pharaoh's. And as for the people, he moved them into the cities, from one end of the borders of Mitzrayim to the other end. Only the ground of the priest he did not buy, for the priest had allotments from Pharaoh, and they ate their allotments which Pharaoh gave them. Therefore they did not sell their ground. And Joseph said to the people, Look, I have bought you and your land today for Pharaoh. Look, Here is seed for you, and you shall sow the land. And it shall be that in the harvest you shall give 1/5 to Pharaoh, and 4/5 is your own, as seed for the field and for your food, for those of your households, and as food for your little ones. And they said, You have saved our lives. Let us find favor in the eyes of my master, and we shall become Pharaoh's servants. And Joseph made it a law over the land of Mitzrayim to this day that Pharaoh should have 1/5, except for the ground of the priest only, which did not become Pharaoh's. And Yisrael dwelt in the land of Mitzrayim, in the land of Goshen, and they had possessions there, and bore fruit, and increased exceedingly. Baruch be the reading of the word. Shabbat Shalom.